Okay, ready? Okay.
Mhm.
The only thing that separates us from the animals, Chaos Kids, is our ability to accessorize. I'm Naomi.
Oh, I'm Amber. This is Crime, Wine, and Chaos. What is that from? It's like on the tip of my tongue.
I'm not telling.
Will you tell me at will you tell me at the end? That's some bullshit. Anyway,
You know,
I know, but my
you
brain is
know.
fried.
Don't talk about me like I'm not here.
Oh, there it is. That's so weird. Is it like the anniversary of that? Because it's coming up in my reels a lot.
I have no idea. You want to know what's really funny is that last night I was unpacking one of my boxes and I was putting away my DVDs and I was literally just looking at that DVD because I own it. I own it on DVD. Yeah.
Such
Classic.
a good one.
Classic.
Classic.
Hi, sister.
Hi, sister.
It's been so long since I talked to you.
I mean, it hasn't even been 24 hours.
It's been just under 24 hours.
Oh my gosh. I bet you missed me already.
I always miss you, sissy.
That's a
Come
lot
on.
of Amber, and I am sorry.
No, stop it. Stop it.
Okay.
Stop. You were going to tell us about your amazing adventures in Montana.
Adventures in Babysitting.
I have that on DVD too.
That's a good one. Let's see. I rented the same house as last time.
Right. We like this house.
Yeah, like this house, like the owner. As soon as I booked it, he was texting me, "Oh, welcome back. It's
welcome
you."
back. And you're like, get used to it. I'll be coming often.
I thought I would be triggered because it was such a horrible trip last time, but I wasn't. Like when I went in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We ate junk food and watched shows on the Netflix. We went to Broadwater Springs, which is
I don't know
like
what that is.
It's a hot springs with waterfalls.
Nice. Fancy.
It was fancy. And, we had a good time. I got to meet.
Hold on.
Okay. She's undressing and taking.
Sorry.
Okay. Great. I got to meet Christy. She's hilarious.
Great.
But not that this is the most important part of my trip, but I have to tell you about what I did on the way back.
What did you do on the way back?
Okay, so I was talking to Mom a few weeks ago about how she's still very sad that we sold Grandma Kitty's house in the middle of winter in Spokane, and it was 2 feet of snow, and she wasn't able to get any plants. So I stopped by that house and knocked on the door.
I was going to say you just snuck it. I thought you were going to say you pulled a kitty and you just stole some plants.
No, I knocked on the door. I made a new friend who lives there.
Holy shit, Kira. What?
I was there for like an hour.
Who is Kira? Tell me everything. The Chaos Kids don't care, but I need to know.
Okay, well, first I have to tell you everything except for 2 plants is gone.
What do you mean everything? All the trees and everything?
Everything is gone. I know, including the pond.
How did you gone. Including Mara's pond? How did you make friends with this woman then?
She didn't do that. She didn't buy it from the sisters. She bought it from the guy who bought it from the sisters.
She bought it from a flipper.
No, he wasn't a flipper. He was an old guy and he has since passed away. But I will say that he saw Grandma.
What?
When he lived there, he saw her walk down the hall, turn the corner, and go into the kitchen.
No way! What?
And Kira hears her all the time, pitter-pattering.
No. Kitty is haunting her house?
Well, she asked me about, because she asked me about the pond. I told her it was a memorial pond. I showed her pictures of what it used to look like. She asked if Mara also died there too, and I said, no, she didn't. And she said, well, Kitty's pitter-pattering around the house with somebody, because there's definitely 2 people. And I was like, well, that might be Mara. Yeah.
Seriously?
Kira's works from home, and her office is what we used to call the red room.
The hot lava room?
The hot lava room. Yes, I told her all about that. And she says she's constantly hearing someone just pitter-patting around, just doing this and that all day.
Oh my God. Kitty, no. Kitty, go into the light.
She did. Jeremy says that he regularly has this dream about her where she's at home and he tells her, Grandma, you're dead. You know that, right? And she says, I know, but I like it here.
Oh my God.
I know. So I know.
So you didn't get any plants.
I did. I got the one that was left. And then apparently lilac bushes, if you want to make sure they don't die, you're supposed to pull them up in the fall. So Kira said I can come back in the fall and take the lilac bush that's still there.
Oh my God.
I know.
I can't believe I had to wait this long to hear this story.
Yeah. So it's almost exactly halfway Spokane to Allison's house. So we're going to get like a B&B in Spokane in the fall and meet up and go dig up a lilac tree and just hang out in Spokane for the weekend.
That is such a wow, sister. I'm blown away.
And she also dug up a whole bunch of like the custom rocks that Grandma had in the pond.
Yes.
She gave me a whole bunch of those.
How did she feel when you told her that there was a pond that used to be there that was a memorial pond that was gone?
I showed her all the pictures and she actually texted me. She's like, I love the pictures, but now I feel devastated that it looks like this. And I'm like, it's your house now though. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's your house. And she's like, I figured it was probably like a memorial because it's a bunch of like stone angels and stuff. And she was like, I didn't want to like just get rid of them because that's like bad juju.
Well, at least she sounds like a pretty cool chick. She sounds like a pretty cool chick.
She says she's super into true crime, so I sent her a link to our podcast.
Oh, maybe she'll hear this episode. Hi, Kira. Yeah. Thanks for taking care of Katie's house.
She's so nice. She was in the shower when I knocked on the door, and she came to the door in a robe.
Oh, my God.
I was like, this is so awkward, but my grandma lived here for 40 years. And she's like, oh, my God, let me put some clothes on.
What a sweetheart.
I know. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, sister. I got nothing compared to that. I unpacked some more boxes today.
That's huge. And we have a home.
And we finished the trim. The last of the windows are trimmed now. So
wow. I really love your ceilings. The ceilings. It's giving like coffer ceiling vibes, but like not nearly as expensive.
It is cedar. It's all cedar.
No, I mean the tiles that you did. The white tiles
in the laundry room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're just PVC.
Yeah, but it makes it look like you have those bougie coffer ceilings.
I know.
I think that's what it's called.
I don't know what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. It's really expensive to do.
Yeah. These were not expensive.
Hack.
I love them, but my first love is the ceilings in the great room because that cedar shiplap. When we oiled it, I almost cried.
Well, I'm sure.
I mean,
blood, sweat, and tears.
Well, and because they are so beautiful
and so old.
Oh,
that's the best thing about an old house is the treasures that you unveil.
Oh, you would not believe the treasures we have unveiled and discovered all over this place.
Oh, I'm sure.
The property. Oh my God, it's insane.
Ugh,
anyway, sister, let's get into it because I got a kind of a meaty chaos story.
Okay. We do have two new kids.
We have two new Kids Club members. I apologize.
That's
One of them's named Ruthie, which I will never forget because I love that so much.
I love it too, and I love how it's being spelled on there.
Totally.
And
welcome, Ruthie.
Welcome, Ruthie. The other one I think is Megan.
Megan?
Because it's MEA.
Well, it could be Megan,
but it could be Megan. Correct us if it's not Megan, or tell us, Megan.
Yeah, Megan. Welcome.
We
don't care how you say your name. It's perfect however you say it. We're just glad to have you.
All right. Are you ready for a crime?
I am always ready.
Okay. I'm going to tell you about Natascha Kampusch.
Okay.
So it's February 17th, 1988.
Oh, you know how I feel about the 80s.
Oh, it was a wild time. So Natascha Kampusch is the daughter to... There's going to be a lot in here that I am going to try to pronounce correctly, but forgive me.
You're going to nail it every time.
Brigitte Cerny and Ludwig Koch.
Okay.
And these two are a troubled unit right out the gate.
Is it Koch?
Yeah.
It's probably Coke. It's probably Coke.
Okay. They're in Vienna.
Okay.
All Her parents' relationship eventually falls apart by the time Natascha is school aged. And so she's shuffling between two households. Her mom is described as strict, no nonsense, and emotionally unavailable. Her father is affectionate, but kind of absent.
Okay.
So it's not great.
Right.
Natascha described her childhood as basically feeling unmoored. She grew up really quickly, having to like navigate adult dysfunction, and she became really self-sufficient at an early age.
Can relate.
But she also had dreams. She dreamed of being independent, of getting the fuck out of there, out of, of a career, of standing on her own 2 feet. And so walking to school by herself at the age of 10 was the first step towards her independence.
I mean, 10 is not too young to walk to school on your own, depending on the neighborhood and how far the school is. You disagree.
I'm not the one to ask. I'm not the one to ask.
You're like, I don't even like that my 22-year-old daughter drives places on her own right now.
I don't. She had 2 dates this week, and both times she was not in the door until after midnight, and I didn't sleep until she got home.
You're going to do great when she lives on her own.
Oh, God. Okay. Yeah. So on March 1st, this is the night before her disappearance, Natascha's, this is 1998, by the way. She's 10 now.
1998.
Yeah, she was born in 1988.
Oh,
and we've now skipped to 1998. She's 10.
She's 10. Got it.
She's going to walk to school. The night before, her and her mom had a fight. Well, her and her dad initially had a fight because he brought her home late from a visit. And so her mom was all mad. She's being pissy. And she says to Natascha, "You're not to see your father anymore." Right.
Well,
so it's all very
okay.
toxic.
This is bad. Bad
so
news.
Natascha went to bed that night really upset. And she left for school that morning without saying goodbye to her mom. It was a 5-minute walk from her front door to her school. But she never made it. So
this is still in Vienna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wolfgang Priklopil. Priklopil. Herschlinger. Serblurhinger.
Nailed it.
He was 35 years old.
Okay.
On paper, he seemed fine, kind of unremarkable. A communications technician, employed, lived in a house in the suburbs called Strasshof on Dor. Fuck. Strasshof and or Nordbahn. About 20 miles outside of Vienna.
Note that most middle-aged white guys are unremarkable on paper, or just unremarkable in general. Just
God. Well, yeah.
just redundant. That's all I'm saying.
This guy drove a white delivery van, which is like, nope.
Cliche.
I know.
We're hitting all the tropes today.
He was mild-mannered, neatly kept. He had soft features and neatly parted brown hair. He was the sort of man neighbors described as a little odd but harmless, and he kept to himself.
With a limp handshake.
Ew, I hate a limp hand. With a clammy hand. Ew! That's the worst.
You know he has a clammy-handed limp shake, dude. You know he does.
But underneath all that, Wolfgang was really troubled. He was paranoid, obsessive, and profoundly lonely. He admired Hitler.
Oh my God.
He fantasized about control.
It always goes back to the Nazis around here.
Always. And he had been preparing a space underneath his garage which was a secret, soundproof, windowless room reinforced with steel doors and a concrete shell so thick that it took a full hour to get inside.
This is Abby Drover all over again.
Mm. Was that in Austria?
No, that was in Vancouver, remember?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So on that morning, Wolfgang is parked near Natascha's school. When she walked by, she was, wearing a white jacket, walking by herself. He seized her by the waist and threw her into the van. She didn't scream. She started thinking. She'd seen something once on television about how you were supposed to get as much information about a criminal as possible. So she asked him what shoe size he wore. Then she asked him directly, "Are you going to molest me?" Mm-hmm. She was trying to understand what she was dealing with. She wrote later, "I had been kidnapped and I figured I would probably die, but she wasn't going to go quietly."
Not our Natascha. No.
Wolfgang carried her into his house and down into the hidden room.
It took an hour.
Mm-hmm. The space was tiny, barely larger than a walk-in closet. It had a bed, a toilet, and a sink, and the ceiling was super low. I would be so claustrophobic. An hour to crawl out of the no.
No.
There was no way of telling if it was day or night in there, except by the bulb that Wolfgang would turn off every evening at 8 p.m.
At 8 p.m.?
Mm-hmm. That's late. That's late for me. Like, we're about an hour past lights out time, Wolfgang.
At 8 p.m.? Sister.
I'm usually in bed at 8 p.m. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. She would remain in this home for more than 8 years.
Oh my God.
That very first night, she asked Wolfgang to tuck her in, to tell her a bedtime story, and to give her a kiss goodnight. She said anything to give him the illusion that this is all normal and it's all good. She is fucking smart.
This 10-year-old.
She understood already that her only tool was the relationship that she could bind with him. So he read her a fairy tale and kissed her goodnight, and then he left her alone in the dark.
Oh my God. The pitch fucking black dark.
In a concrete box.
For 8 years?
Yep. In the early days, Wolfgang was almost nice to her. He brought her books, a computer, chocolate eggs at Easter. He played a fatherly role of some sort. But from day one, he was also working to destroy her sense of reality. He told her that her parents had refused to pay a ransom, that they didn't love her, and that they were glad to be rid of her.
This is some Elizabeth Smart shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He told her, "You've seen my face. Now I can never let you go."
Oh my God.
Uh-huh. He also told her that other people had ordered her kidnapping, that a group of evil men could come down those stairs at any moment and do terrible things to her.
Were they ninjas?
Yeah. Remember the gal that was in the box? I think her name's Colleen, for also 10 years.
Under the bed?
Uh-huh. And her abductor told her it was organized by this thing called The Company.
Oh my God.
Remember?
I don't remember, but I believe you.
Mm-hmm.
They come up with the most...
Yeah.
This guy.
So compared to what he was telling her, what she was enduring almost felt safer.
Sure.
She went into this concrete box as a 10-year-old child, and she walked out as an 18-year-old woman. Her entire adolescence was spent inside that room. As she entered puberty, the dynamic shifted, and the paternal thing that he had going on fell away, and he began to demand that she serve him, that she clean his house, do his laundry, help renovate rooms. She was expected to work half naked. Mm-hmm. She was forbidden from wearing underwear. She wrote one of the things that he did to just consistently keep me down was to totally dehumanize me.
Yeah.
Yeah. His violence escalated her. He beat her, sometimes up to 200 times a week.
Fuck.
He used his fists, his feet, a sack of cement, pruning shears, a crowbar. She wrote that she once heard her own spine snap under the force of a blow. Mm-hmm. He starved her and told her that she was fat, that she was ugly, and that she was worthless. At 16, she weighed just 84 pounds.
This is some Shelley No-Tech shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He demanded she call him maestro or my lord.
Oh my God. God save us from mediocre, unremarkable white men. Fuck.
He insisted that she kneel before him, and he told her he was an Egyptian god from a science fiction series.
Oh my God, what a fucking loser. This guy is such a fucking nerd fucking loser.
Mm-hmm. But she wouldn't kneel and she wouldn't call him maestro. At the age of 15, she punched him in the stomach.
Slow clap for Natascha.
Mm-hmm.
Good girl.
And she made a promise to herself that when she was 18, that she would somehow overpower him and that she would get the fuck out of there.
Yep.
She read like a ton. She watched TV. She learned English this way by watching TV.
Smarty pants.
Mm-hmm. She survived by refusing to become what he wanted her to become. So while Natascha was underground, the investigation above ground was falling apart. Mm-hmm. In the immediate aftermath of her disappearance, a witness had come forward to report seeing a girl being pulled into a white van. That tip was passed along to investigators who eventually knocked on Wolfgang's door, and he told them he knew nothing about what they were talking about. He was cooperative and seemed unremarkable. And so they believed him.
Some Gary Ridgway shit right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's like a really nice, like neat house in a nice suburb.
Right.
Yeah. Over the years, Wolfgang got more comfortable. He began taking Natascha outside, first on short outings, eventually on ski trips and holidays, though she was always watched. She had opportunities in like little moments in public spaces where she could have run, but after years of isolation and psychological abuse, she was just kind of paralyzed, right?
Uh-huh.
She wasn't sure what would happen if she did that, and she wasn't sure that her parents would even want her back.
Right.
She later described feeling like a battered dog.
Oh.
I know. But then she turns 18. And this is where shit gets wild. It's August 23rd, 2006. It's a Wednesday. She's 18 years old. She's been underground in that cellar for 3,096 days. I cannot. Uh-huh. And Wolfgang has tasked her with vacuuming out his van. It's out in the driveway. It's sunny. She's outside. At 12:53 p.m., his phone rings. So the vacuum is super loud, so he steps away to take the call. And for just that little moment, she's outside and he's not watching. She leaves the vacuum running and she runs.
Fuck yeah. Go, girl.
Mm-hmm. She sprints through the neighbor's yard, jumps fences. She approaches strangers on the street and pleads with them to call the police, and they ignore her.
Oh, lovely.
She's disheveled and frantic, and she doesn't look the way people expect a person to look, I guess. I mean, after about 5 minutes, she knocks on the window of a neighbor, a 71-year-old woman, and she just says, "My name is Natascha Kampusch," and this old woman calls the police. They arrive 11 minutes later. Mm-hmm. Natascha was pale and weak and had barely grown. She weighed basically the same that she did when she was first abducted.
Oh my God.
Uh-huh. Wolfgang, realizing she had escaped, fled to his car. The car was found abandoned near a train station in Vienna. At rush hour that evening, he stepped in front of a commuter train.
What a fucking piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, Wolfgang. Fucking coward. This is that same thing. What was that guy's name? That had the 3 gals, one of them for 10 years.
The Cleveland guy. That was I don't
Didn't he kill himself when he was in prison after he'd been there for like a day?
Yes. Ariel Castro.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep. Yeah, you can't handle 1 day of captivity.
After keeping somebody for 8 years or a decade in captivity, fuck off.
I know. Mm-hmm.
Fucking men.
When Natascha learned that Wolfgang was dead, she cried inconsolably.
Oh.
She lit a candle for him. She carried a photograph of him for a while, and she later said, I feel more and more sorry for him. He's a poor soul.
They're not lonely enough. You know what I'm saying?
So, of course, the press and the public thought that this was odd, and so they explained this away as Stockholm Syndrome.
Which we here on Crime, Wine, and Chaos all know is not a real fucking thing.
Natascha pushed back on that. She repeatedly said that Stockholm Syndrome label is disrespectful, that it strips her of her agency, that it reduces a complex 8-year experience built out of survival and necessity and a refusal to be entirely dehumanized into a pathology.
Not only that, but it's a made up. Yes, she's 100% right. And it's a made up thing that's not even real.
Right. It's like the original story of it is made up, similar to like the bystander effect that stemmed from the Kitty Genevieve story.
That's also made up. Yes.
She wrote, had I met him only with hatred, that hatred would have eaten me up and robbed me of the strength I needed to make it through.
This girl. I'm sorry. This young woman. Wow.
Yeah. Just 2 weeks after her escape, Natascha sat down for a nationally broadcasted television interview. She was poised and articulate. She squinted against the studio lights because she had spent years underground. She spoke clearly. She held herself with a composure that left the world speechless. And by any measure, it was extraordinary. But people, like, I read that people thought that maybe she was in on it. Like, she was too composed.
Oh, for God's sake. She's not grieving properly? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. In the years that followed, she built a public life on her own terms. She launched a talk show in Austrian television in 2008. She was 20 years old, still learning who she was outside of that cellar, and she chose to put herself directly in the spotlight. The show ran for 3 episodes before it ended. In 2010, she published her memoir, 3,096 Days, written with 2 journalists. It was an unflinching account of her captivity, the violence, the manipulation, the survival strategies, all of that, right? It became a bestseller. And a film adaptation followed in 2013. In 2016, she released a second book, 10 Years of Freedom, to mark the 10th anniversary of her escape. And she also kept Wolfgang's house.
What? Well, she put a lot of sweat equity into that house.
Yeah.
She's like, this place is nice because I worked really hard on it.
She didn't want it to turn into a tourist thing, right?
Right.
She visited it often. She cleaned it out. She paid the bills. She filled the cellar or her room with concrete. She said she did it because the house was a big part of her formative years, because it was in some sense hers, and she was not going to let it be taken from her. And the scrutiny of this was fucking relentless also.
Of course.
Everything she did was analyzed. Her grief over Wolfgang was weaponized against her. There were conspiracy theories suggesting that her mother had been involved in the kidnapping and that the story was fabricated.
Okay.
Yeah. All of those theories came up empty of any evidence.
Right.
God, why does my Word document? Gary, cut this. Natascha once said, I feel strong enough to tell the full story of my abduction for the very first time. And she did that in her own words. She was interviewed by a journalist. I'll link it in the show notes. And they actually go to the house, and she stops, as she's opening the door, she stops and turns to the journalist, and she's like, are you going to be okay with going in here? She's very concerned about other people
Yeah.
Just kind of strange, right? As of today, she's in her 30s. She's an author, a public figure, an activist. She has spoken internationally about child safety and about the right of survivors to define their own experiences. She still owns uh, Wolfgang's house. And that's
I don't even have sister, I don't even have words.
I don't think that she lives there.
No, she's just maintaining the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do that.
I mean, didn't they tear down Area Castrol's house?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did. Yep.
I mean,
if she wants it, she should.
Whatever she needs to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And if that's what she needs to do, like, okay.
Yeah. Just fucking wild. The whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Do you have a palate cleanser?
No.
Oh, okay, great. No.
Nope. Okay. Not at all.
Sounds good.
Okay, I'm just going to dive in here. I'm not going to tell you what this is because it'll give it away. So just go with me here, okay?
Okay.
All right, we're gonna do a little journey. We're gonna learn some things today. We're gonna eat our vegetables, chaos kids. Sorry.
Woo-hoo.
So it was more than 20,000 years ago when people began hand sewing. We used animal bones and horns as needles. Up until the early 1800s, most people raised sheep or saved up to purchase wool, to spin yarn, to then weave cloth, and then hand sew their clothes. It was only in 1830, during the Industrial Revolution, that was the start of the invention of. Sorry, Gary, cut all that. It was only in 1830, during the Industrial Revolution, that the sewing machine was invented. Literally 200 years ago, the sewing machine was invented. In the grand scheme of human history, that was yesterday.
Yeah.
Bartholomew a French tailor invented a sewing machine.
We don't need to get into the weeds about it. Oh my God.
That used a hook needle and one thread to create a chain stitch, which is still commonly used in denim jeans today.
Okay.
With the advent of the sewing machine, clothes became easier, quicker, and cheaper to make. Clothing began to be made in bulk in various sizes rather than just being made to order. Dressmaking shops emerged to cater to the middle classes, and for the first time, people started wearing clothing for style, not just practical reasons. Mm-hmm. And I would say people, meaning the everyday person, because the ruling class has always worn clothing for style alone, right?
Right.
By the 1960s and the 1970s, the youths were creating new trends and using clothing as a form of personal expression. There was increasing demand for affordable clothing. Textile mills opened across the developing world, and low-quality, mass-produced clothing took over. Mm-hmm. Shopping for new clothes became a hobby and a means of social status. In 1990, the New York Times published an article using the term fast fashion for the first time. Mm-hmm. The piece was about a new fashion retailer with a mission to transform a garment from an idea in the designer's brain to being sold on racks in a store in only 15 days.
Oh, geez.
By the mid-1990s, online shopping took off, accelerating what was already a dizzying rate of textile consumption. No matter where you are in the world, chances are if you see an outfit you like online, you can buy it and have it on your doorstep in days.
Yeah.
As of 2023, 100 billion items of clothing were produced every year.
Oh my gosh.
That is a 50% growth in just 15 years, and the main culprit for this growth is fast fashion. Mm-hmm. Fast fashion can be defined as low-cost, trendy clothing rapidly produced by mass market retailers in response to the latest trends. Overproduction and overconsumption have resulted in the fashion industry being one of the world's largest polluters. Mm-hmm. All areas of fast fashion, super speedy production, use of synthetic fibers and dangerous chemicals, and competitive pricing have massive negative effects on Mother Earth and the people involved in making these clothes. Rapidly changing trends and clothing available at shockingly cheap prices instills a throwaway culture, as though clothing isn't meant to be long-lasting or worn more than a few times. A few quick statistics. 63% of textile fibers are derived from petrochemicals. 70 million barrels of oil a year are used to make polyester fibers in our clothes. A polyester shirt produces the equivalent of 5.5 kilograms of carbon dioxide compared to 2.1 kilograms for a cotton shirt. On average, a person consumes 11.4 kilograms of apparel each year. Garment manufacturing accounts for 20% of global industrial water pollution.
Fuck.
To cater to the demand for clothing, sweatshops emerged in the 1800s. Sweatshops are factories or workshops, especially in the clothing industry, where manual workers are employed at low wages for long hours and poor or often illegal working conditions. Fast fashion is one of the most labor-intensive industries, with each piece of clothing handmade along a complex supply chain that stretches across countries in the global south, such as Bangladesh, India, China, Vietnam, and Indonesia. These nations and others supply low-cost labor that fast fashion demands. The industry employs approximately 60 million factory workers worldwide, yet less than 2% of those workers earn a living wage.
God. So fucking gross.
So fucking gross. Garment workers endure unsafe conditions, wage theft, exhausting hours, minimal pay, and gender-based harassment. The modern fashion supply chain is designed for maximum efficiency and speed, driving huge profit margins for brands at the expense of workers. These coercive practices include demanding the lowest possible prices while placing large orders, setting unrealistic turnaround times, and switching suppliers whenever another factory can do the job for less. This shift exacerbated issues like wage theft, which became particularly evident during the COVID-19 pandemic when brands canceled $40 billion worth of completed orders, leading to mass factory closures and layoffs. A study published by Sheffield University found that during the pandemic, wages dropped by an average 11% compared to pre-pandemic levels. Many workers were left without pay for weeks or even months, further deepening their poverty. One worker in India summarized the desperation that many of them felt, saying, quote, "We are here basically to earn and survive." Factory closings left over 1 million garment workers, mostly women, including many single mothers, laid off or fired. The result was a surge in food insecurity, gender-based violence, and homelessness. The systemic issues in the garment industry, such as weak labor regulations and lack of enforcement, have only worsened these conditions, allowing brands to continue exploiting vulnerable workers without consequence.
Yeah.
This exploitation disproportionately impacts women, who make up approximately 75% of garment workers, primarily aged between 18 and 35. When it comes to garment manufacturing in the global south, the clothes we wear often come at the cost of women's dignity and safety. Gender discrimination is pervasive in all countries where garments are produced. Women are frequently subjected to verbal and physical abuse, as well as sexual harassment, often in unregulated factories where workplace violence goes unchecked. The Clean Clothes campaign reported that Indonesian women working in factories are often harassed by male managers who demand sexual favors in exchange for job security, threatening the women with termination if they refuse.
Fuck off. That's disgusting. Fuck you.
These incidents are part of a broader pattern of systemic abuse perpetuated by weak enforcement of labor laws and the prioritization of profit over human rights. Because capitalism ruins everything. The exploitation of garment workers is glaringly evident in Bangladesh, a country heavily reliant on the industry. An Oxfam report reveals that 91% of Bangladeshi garment workers struggle to afford enough food for themselves and their families, and 25% face some form of abuse. Despite the garment sector contributing nearly 16% to Bangladesh's GDP and 84% of the nation's exports, workers remain poorly paid. In 1972, the World Bank approximated the gross domestic product of Bangladesh at $6.29 billion, and it grew to $368 billion by 2021, with $46 billion of that generated by exports. 82% were ready-made garments. As of 2016, Bangladesh held the second place in producing garments, just after China. Bangladesh is the world's second largest apparel exporter of Western fast fashion brands. Bangladesh's textile industry has been part of the trade versus aid debate. The encouragement of the garment industry of Bangladesh as an open trade regime is argued to be a much more effective form of assistance than foreign aid. Tools such as quotas through the WTO agreement on textiles and clothing, and everything but arms, and the U.S. 2009 tariff relief assistance in the global clothing market have benefited entrepreneurs in Bangladesh's ready-made garments industry. Sure. It's good for business. Subcontracting is a major component of the garment industry in Bangladesh. Many Western companies contract to different factories, only requesting that certain quotas be met at certain times. Companies prefer subcontracting because the degree of separation presumably removes them of liability of wage and labor violations.
Of course.
Right. And it was against this backdrop, in this context, that Rana Plaza was built in 2006 in Savar Upazila, a district about 15 miles northwest of Dhaka City, Bangladesh. The plaza is owned by Sohail Rana, who is allegedly a member of the local unit of Jubo League, which is the youth arm of the Bangladesh Awami League. It's the political party in power in Bangladesh at the time. It housed 5 separate garment factories, employing around 5,000 people, plus ground-level shops, a bank, and some apartments. The factories manufactured apparel for international brands, including Benetton, Zara, The Children's Place, El Corte Inglés, Joe Fresh, Mango, Modelon, Primark, and Walmart. 7 years after its construction, on April 23rd, 2013, large cracks were discovered in the building. That same day, a TV channel reported on and showed the footage of cracks in the Rana Plaza building. After the news story aired, the shops and the bank on the lower floors immediately closed. Later in the day, building owner Sohail Rana told the media that the building was safe and that workers should return to work the next day. Management at EtherTex threatened to withhold a month's pay from workers who refused to come back to work. So most of the factory workers did just that.
Fuck.
The next morning, on April 24th, there was a power outage in the building, and the diesel generators, which were on the top floor, started up. And at 8:54 a.m., loud vibrations and rumbling noises erupted on those top floors and spread throughout Rana Plaza. A lot of the workers bailed from their machines and started racing towards the exits. But less than a minute later, the structural failure started, and by 8:57 a.m., the building collapsed completely, leaving only the ground floor intact.
Oh my God.
The Bangladesh Garment Manufacturers and Exporters Association president confirmed that 3,122 workers were in the building at the time of the collapse. A local resident described the scene as if an earthquake had struck. The UN Urban Search and Rescue Coordination Group offered immediate assistance, but the government of Bangladesh rejected the offer. They made a statement suggesting that local rescue services had it covered.
Okay.
But they did not, in fact, have it covered.
Right.
The UN didn't offer just to be nice. They had assessed the abilities of Bangladesh to handle it and found them lacking. Regardless, the Bangladesh government didn't want international help. A large portion of the rescue operation consisted of inadequately equipped volunteers, many of whom wore no protective clothing or gear, with mere sandals on their feet. Some buried survivors drank their own urine to survive the high temperatures while awaiting to be saved. Not only was the Bangladesh government accused of favoring national pride over those buried alive, but many relatives of those trapped in the debris criticized the government for trying to end the rescue mission prematurely. More than half of the victims were women, along with a number of their children who were in nursery facilities within the building. Fire service personnel, police, and military personnel assisted with the rescue effort. Volunteer rescue workers used bolts of fabric to assist survivors to escape from the building. 1,700 injured were taken to Enam Medical College and Hospital, and 105 to National Institute of Traumatology. And a national day of mourning was held the next day on the 25th of April. On May 8th, Army spokesman Mir Rabi said the Army's attempt to recover more bodies from the rubble would continue for at least another week. On May 10th, 17 days after the collapse, a woman named Reshma was found and rescued alive and almost unhurt under the rubble.
Oh my gosh.
The direct reasons for the building problems were: 1, the building was built on a filled-in pond. 2, they converted it from a commercial use building to an industrial use building, but they didn't do any structural changes to accommodate that.
Yeah.
3, unauthorized addition of 4 floors that were not included in the original building permit. And 4, the use of substandard construction material, which led to an overload of the building structure, aggravated by vibrations from the generators and the heavy industrialized machinery. All these elements indicated dubious business practices by Sohail Rana and dubious administrative practices in the city. The collapse of the building was preceded by a number of administrative failures, leading to early warning signs being ignored.
Yeah.
It was reported that the industrial police first requested, after that those cracks were seen, right, that they requested the evacuation of the building until an inspection had been conducted. It was also reported that this particular engineer had declared the building unsafe and requested public authorities to conduct a more thorough inspection. But he ended up being arrested for helping the owner illegally add 3 floors.
God.
Then this guy, Kabir Hossein Sarder, who's the Upazila Nirbahi officer, he visited the site. He met with Sohail Rana, and he declared the building was safe. Sohail Rana said to the media that the building was safe and workers should return the next day. One manager of the factories in the plaza reported that Sohail Rana told them that the building was safe. Managers then requested the workers to go back to work. Managers at Ethertex threatened to withhold a month's pay from workers who refused to come to work. So as a result, the workers returned to the factories the next day and were in there when this happened.
God damn it. Those fucking assholes.
After the Spectrum factory collapse in June 2005, which was a 9-story garment factory also in Dhaka, prominent manufacturers organized projects like the Ethical Trading Initiative and Business Social Compliance Initiative to prevent these disasters in the Bangladesh textile industry and other places. These programs ultimately failed to prevent the plaza from collapsing, obviously, despite social compliance audits conducted according to BSCI procedure at 2 of the factories at Rana Plaza. Auditors failed to detect the structural concerns. In a press release after the building collapsed, BSCI was like, well, our systems doesn't cover building safety, but they got called out for this because their audit questionnaire requires auditors to check the building permits. And if they checked the building permits against the building, they would have seen that there were like 4 floors that were not in the permit added to the building.
No shit.
There have been some that have stated that BSCI doesn't actually really have anything in the way of incentives to report these kinds of violations.
Oh, there needs to be an incentive.
Apparently.
How about the safety of others?
I think that BSCI is like a CYA bullshit thing because it's like business social, what do they call social compliance initiative? It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's all theater to make it look like they care.
Sure.
Right? The day after the Rana Plaza building collapsed, the Capital Development Authority filed a case against the owners of the building and the 5 garment factories operating inside it. On the same day, dozens of survivors were discovered in the remains of the building. The Prime Minister of Bangladesh said in Parliament that the name Sohail Rana was not on the Jubo League list of office holders, and then she ordered his arrest, and 4 of the owners of the garment factories operating in the building. Sohail Rana was on the run, though. 4 other individuals had already been arrested in connection with the collapse. 2 days after the building collapsed, garment workers across the industrial areas of Dhaka, Chittagong, and Gazipur rioted, targeting vehicles, commercial buildings, and garment factories. The next day, leftist political parties and the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, led by the 18-party alliance, demanded the arrest and trial of suspects and an independent commission to identify vulnerable factories. 4 days after the building collapsed, the owner of the Rana Plaza, Sohail Rana, was arrested on the Indo-Bangladeshi border by security forces. On that same day, a fire broke out at the collapse site, and everyone had to suspend search for survivors until the fire could get put out. On May Day, which is today, during International Workers' Day, thousands of protesting workers paraded through central Dhaka to demand safer working conditions and the death penalty for Sohail Rana.
Fuck.
A week later, hundreds of survivors of the disaster blocked a main highway to demand higher wages as the death toll for the collapse at that time passed 700. Local government officials said they had been in talks with the Bangladesh Garment Manufacturers and Exporters Association to pay the workers their outstanding April salaries plus a further 3 months. A total of £97.
Fuck.
After officials promised the surviving workers that they would be paid soon, they ended their protest. The government and Garment Association were compiling a list of surviving employees to establish who must be paid and compensated. The next day, 18 garment plants, including 16 in Dhaka and 2 in Chittagong, were closed down. The textile minister told reporters that more plants would be shut down as part of strict new measures to ensure safety.
Sure.
On the 5th of June, police in Bangladesh fired into the air in an attempt to disperse hundreds of former workers and relatives of the victims of the collapse who were protesting to demand back pay and compensation promised by the government and the Bangladesh Garments and Manufacturers Exporters Association. So he still hadn't been paid.
Of course.
On the 10th of June, 7 inspectors were suspended and accused of negligence for renewing the licenses of garment factories in Rana Plaza. On the 30th of August, 100 days after the collapse, injured workers and family members of those who died there, along with workers' rights activists, inaugurated a memorial for the tragedy, a statue of 2 fists thrusting toward the sky, grasping a hammer and sickle. The police attempted to stop the erection of the memorial several times. It remains the only memorial monument for the tragedy.
Wow.
On September 22nd, at least 50 people were injured when police fired rubber bullets and tear gas into a crowd of protesters who were blocking streets in Dhaka, demanding a minimum wage of $100 a month.
Jesus Christ.
In November, a 10-story garment factory in Gazipur, which supplied Western brands, was allegedly burned down by workers who were pissed off because one of their fellow workers had been killed at the hands of police. In March 2014, Rana Plaza owner Sohail Rana was granted 6 months bail in the High Court, but he was not released because of additional pending charges. A December 2015 report found that only 8 out of the 3,425 factories inspected had remedied violations enough to pass a final inspection.
Okay.
despite the international community's $280 million commitment to clean up Bangladesh's garment industry. On the 14th of June, 2016, Sohail Rana and 17 others were indicted for violating building code in the construction of Rana Plaza. In August of 2016, the trial was postponed after defendants filed appeals with the High Court of Bangladesh.
Right. Of course.
As these things always go. How many times have we covered stuff like this? These things years and years and years.
Yeah.
Every fucking time. The initial response to the demand for compensation was slow. By mid-September, compensation to families of disaster victims were under discussion only, with many families struggling to survive after having lost the household's breadwinner who provided the food and shelter and education and healthcare because they had the job.
Right.
Families who had received the $200 compensation from Primark were only those able to provide DNA evidence of their relative's death and the collapse.
Shut the fuck up.
Which was really fucking hard to do.
Yeah.
The U.S. government provided DNA kits to the families of victims. Primark would be the largest contributor of compensation, paying $12.4 million for deceased, missing, and injury claims. In mid-2014, Human Rights Watch reported that initial payments of $650 each had been documented. According to the International Labor Rights Forum, full compensation for the families of victims was achieved in 2015.
Okay.
Supposedly. Because more than 24 victims' families have not been compensated because they couldn't document their claims.
Jesus.
I'm assuming because they couldn't provide DNA fucking evidence.
Good God.
Of the 29 brands identified as having sourced products from the Rana Plaza factories, only 9 attended meetings held in November 2013 to agree on a proposal to compensate the victims. Several companies refused to sign, including Walmart, Carrefour, Auchan, and Kik. Some of these brands I don't know. The agreement was signed by Primark, Loblaw, Bon Marché, and El Corte Inglés.
Okay.
Or Ingles? I don't know. By March 2014, 7 of the 28 international brands sourcing products from Rana Plaza had contributed to the Rana Plaza Compensation Fund, which was backed by the International Labor Organization. In June of 2014, the Bangladesh Anti-Corruption Commission filed a case against 14 people for building Rana Plaza with faulty design. In June of 2015, murder charges were filed by the Bangladesh police against 42 people, including the owner of the building. They were indicted in July of 2016. The case was delayed after the Bangladesh High Court stopped trial proceedings against 5 of them, including the mayor. On the 29th of August 2016, the factory owner, Sohail Rana, was sentenced to a maximum 3-year imprisonment by a court for failing to declare his personal wealth to the country's anti-graft commission.
What? Okay.
Rana and 37 others, including government officials, were also charged with murder. 8 years after the collapse, neither the murder trial nor the building code trial had concluded. All except for Sohail Rana were on bail, were fugitives, or were dead. The murder trial resumed in February 2022. Rana, his parents, and 34 others were charged with causing the deaths of the workers, along with 4 others charged for sheltering Rana. As of April 2025, the murder trial was ongoing, with 94 witness testimonies completed out of 594 planned witnesses. As of a week ago, 13 years later, at least 19 civil and criminal cases over the tragedy are still pending with labor and criminal court. Sohail Rana remains in jail while survivors and families of the deceased continue to wait for accountability and full restitution.
My God.
The confirmed death toll from the Rana Plaza collapse, including some rescue workers, was 1,134. Approximately 2,500 injured people were rescued from the building, some injuries disabling. Many of the survivors had been trapped under tons of rubble and machinery for hours or even days before they could be rescued, sometimes only by amputating limbs. It is considered one of the deadliest structural failures in modern human history, as well as the deadliest garment factory disaster in history, and it is the deadliest industrial accident in the history of Bangladesh. Amnesty International called it, quote, the most shocking recent example of business-related human rights abuse.
Mm-hmm.
On Rana Plaza neveragain.org, there is a scrolling wall of shame of brands which don't care about their workers' safety. These brands are Walmart, IKEA, Disney, Amazon, Columbia, Wrangler, Decathlon, JCPenney, Lee, Target, Rock and Republic, Tom Taylor, Urban Outfitters, Anthropologie, and Free People.
Ironic. Free People.
And that is the Rana Plaza
I
collapse.
fucking hated that. Wow, sister. I hated that.
Fast fashion kills us and the planet.
Mm-hmm. Try
Either-
thrifting. I love
I love
tags.
I was going to say thrifting secondhand is the best thing we could all be doing right now.
Fucking love
Hands
thrifting.
down.
Mhm.
Secondhand, consignment, thrift shop, garage sale, flea market, estate sale, buy it
Mhm.
secondhand, guys.
Yep, for sure. It's the way to
Stop
go.
feeding this machine. It's so bad. That doesn't even touch on the textile waste.
Oh, I know.
Have you seen that shit?
I have. Yeah, I have.
It is shocking.
It's disgusting.
It is awful.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry, you guys. I didn't have a fun romp of a chaos story today.
That's okay.
But it is International Workers' Day. It is May Day. It is the day that the proletariat fucking historically riots and, tells the fucking bourgeoisie what time it is. And those women and their children in
Mhm.
Bangladesh, they deserve for us to know
Yeah.
what they went through so that, we could get a sheen haul.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Well,
Sorry,
thank you
sis.
for that. No, that's okay. Wow. Fuck.
So, yeah. Anyway, on that note,
On that happy note, join the club. You want more of this? You want more of this, right?
You know you want more of this.
Mm-hmm. Patreon.com, yakety yak / that bat, crime, wine, and chaos, and spelled
Mhm.
out, not the symbol.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You get a bonus episode every month. You get the new episodes a day early every week. Sometimes we do a virtual wine night. We hang out. It's a good time over there.
It is a good time. Wow, sister, I love you.
She has nothing left, you guys. I'm
I
so
have
sorry.
nothing left.
I love you too. You do a great impression of a hot dog, sister.
Thank you. That was
was so
fucking
chaotic.
chaotic. Goodbye.
Goodbye.